Good morning and happy Saturday, everyone. Um, let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. Let's see. What's my low? Well, it's exactly as I thought it would. Oh, it's exactly as the weather set out right now. Looks like it's cold and rainy and miserable. On top of that, there was something I was going to do next weekend, but said event had to be rescheduled till 2 weekends from then, which I'm still going to be able to do, but it kind of does put a downer on what I planned on next weekend. Um, my high was I got to see my parents, spend the day with my parents yesterday. It was actually quite nice. And what's my act of kindness? Actually, there was something really important that my mom had to get ready for, so I helped clean the kitchen a little bit for her. So that's what I did. So I can't believe I'm actually going to be talking about this because, I mean, listen, I grew up, watching all sorts of cartoons within the 90s and, early to mid 2000s. So, yeah, of course, anytime I saw a show that I was looking forward to coming on, I did all I can to make sure I could watch it. And it was always a lot of fun when I did. And it was equally as heartbreaking when I wasn't able to see it. Oh well, to be young again. I say this because even now, one of my biggest, I'll say this is a guilty pleasure. Like, I know I kind of scoff at the idea of a guilty pleasure, but for reasons you'll be understanding very soon, this is a guilty pleasure. But I always had a guilty pleasure for seeing the male protagonist get chased by an overly obsessive girl who likes him. I mean, granted, again, now you understand why this is a guilty pleasure because, this was the 90s and early 2000s. By today's standards, that really wouldn't fly. Huh. In fact, you hardly ever really see that anymore in anything, live action or animation to begin with. And even back in like the 90s and, 2000s, it was still like really, I mean, granted, yes, this is cartoon logic we're dealing with. So you're not really supposed to take it all at face value. But you do have to tell yourself, like, if this was real life or if there were any real world implications, that girl would be, absolutely considered crazy and, would be in trouble for the things she was doing to get to the guy. And you can better believe that if it'd be just as bad if the reverse would happen. Girl protagonist being chased by an overly obsessive guy. Actually, who am I kidding? That would be. I mean, yes, there is something to be said about how bad they both are, but let's be real here. When it's like the guy chasing the girl, it's creepier. It is. It's why I never really, try. That's why I try and be careful no matter where I go. So and it happened in a lot of cartoons when I was a kid. Happened in Chowder. It happened in Ed, Edd n Eddy. I mean, those are the two examples I can think of. But it also happened in The Fairly Odd Parents. before I talk more about this, I need to share my history because, full stop, I loved the Fairly Odd Parents when I was a kid. I remember the Fairly Odd Parents and Invader Zim premiered on the same night. Oh yeah, I remember that night. I was there. I saw them both, and it was absolutely crazy. I mean, granted, and I remember watching both episodes of those shows and like, okay, these are both good, but I'm pretty sure I know which of the two is going to be more popular, and it wound up being Fairly Odd Parents. Although Invader Zim got like a cult following. But, you know, there were like I was there for that entire first year where they only produced like 6 episodes and they had them on repeat until they could make more. You know, like I remember it all. In fact, a couple of years ago, I even made a video on what the soft reboot they had for the show, Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish. You know, I even did a video on my thoughts on that first season, which, given what I'm going to be talking about, I really do hope we get a season 2. Maybe we'll. I'll look it up in a minute. But yes. Creator Butch Hartman finally revealed who Timmy Turner winds up marrying. I mean, listen, if you watch The Fairly Odd Parents even half as much as I did, you probably could have guessed this yourself. I guessed this myself. At the end of the movie Channel Chasers, which arguably should have been the end of the series, that gave it away. Technically, that gave it away, but you really weren't sure. Okay, so if you don't know, in the show, Timmy Turner had a crush on Trixie Tang. However, his evil babysitter Vicky had a younger sibling named Tootie, which, here's the thing, I never really liked the name Tootie. If that makes, I shouldn't say I hate it. I don't know. There was just something I wasn't quite sure about for the name. But the point is, Tootie was again the overly obsessed girl chasing after Timmy. And then there was also Chloe, but she was in that season that we'd like to talk about because at that point, Fairly Odd Parents was, walking death. But it was pretty much between Trixie and Tootie as to who everyone thought that Timmy was going to marry. And granted, I never really took part in any of these debates, especially when, again, I pretty much knew right away what was going to happen. But evidently, a lot of people still argued about that for years. Even after yesterday, here's the thing. There are people who know for a fact they were wrong about what wound up happening after what Butch Hartman revealed yesterday. And they're still going to die on that hill, which I find hilarious. But not me. I knew Timmy Turner was going to marry Tootie. Kudos to the character designer for the end of Channel Chasers when they revealed that Timmy Turner had kids. Because based on the kids' character design, they did kind of keep it a little bit ambiguous as to who it was. Because they never showed Timmy Turner's wife at the end of Channel Chasers. They never showed his wife. That was a smart idea. Keep it ambiguous. I like that. Seriously, look at Channel Chasers again. They do keep it ambiguous. Yeah. It's very clear that... And you know what? They did... People are watching old episodes again, and I remember a lot of, the episode Just the Two of Us, where Timmy Turner wished that he and Trixie were the only 2 people on Earth. And every 14 seconds, Trixie needs someone to tell her that she's pretty. Which, I'm like, yeah, that's obsessive. Why would Timmy be with this guy? This girl. This guy, holy cow. But yeah. Actually, I remember all the memes so well. when people were making comparisons to Butch Hartman's other show, Danny Phantom, like, obviously Danny's design looks kind of like Timmy, only without the buck teeth. Sam looks like Tootie. Paulina looks like Trixie. You know, yeah, there was a lot of comparisons made. But yeah, man, Timmy marries Tootie. I guess that makes it. It's impossible to come up with a pet name for it. Oh, I can do this. To Timmy, I guess. I don't know. Although I actually did kind of like how this entire week, Butch Hartman was like on his YouTube channel, like he made the reveal, who will Timmy Turner marry? And like he drew, which kudos to Butch Hartman, he still got it in terms of the fact he can still draw and animate. Like who will Timmy Turner marry? And like it shows Timmy Turner in like a tux, unveiling, no pun intended, who he winds up marrying. You know, the girl is in like a wedding dress and stuff like that, but the girl's face is blank, and then he reveals that it's Tootie. I'm like, you know what? I like the design of I mean, you see what Timmy Turner looks like as an adult in Channel Chasers. He was voiced by Alec Baldwin. Eric Berwin! Any Team America fans out there? But no, I had no horse in it. I knew it was gonna happen all along. That's why I never really took part in any debates. And I mean, again, debating about stuff like that and shipping, I don't really do that myself. Especially when the one time I ever shipped anyone, it didn't work out, and I'm still really mad about that even to this day. Seriously, Naruto really should have been with Sakura. I'm sorry. Naruto should have been with Sakura. Okay, we're done. Or at the very least, Sakura should not have ended up with Sasuke. Either one of those outcomes should have been what it was, but oh well. Anyway. Yeah, so if you were one of the people out there who were always saying that Timmy should marry Tootie, you know, congratulations, you got your wish. It is now canon that Timmy Turner marries Tootie. You know what, they never said what Vicky and Tootie's last name is. Although, now that that's been revealed, and I mentioned this earlier, how I talked about, I made a video a couple years back about what I thought of Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish, which I really did like, by the way. I highly recommend you check it out. I mean, they were going to do a reveal of what Timmy looked like in as an adult. I mean, they did try and tease it, saying he was a bus driver, but come on, that wasn't Timmy Turner. Like, they teased that Timmy Turner was going to be in season 1, but they didn't do that yet. I'm 100% certain they were going to do it for a later season. And now that it's revealed that Trixie married Tootie, Timmy married Tootie. I'm sorry, there's a lot of T-related names. I apologize. You know, there's still a lot of speculation going on. Like, because we've seen Crocker, we've seen Vicky, we've seen AJ all in, you know, the future as adults. So it begs the question, you know, what's going to happen? What about Timmy? What about Chester McBadbad? What about Sanjay or Elmer and his Boyle, Bob? Told you I was a fan. What about the popular boys Tad and Chad? Or the popular but still less popular than Trixie Tang Veronica? Oh gosh. But for real, I would like to see another season of Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish. And you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now. Are we getting Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish? I really hope we do. I would love to see that. Oh, that's interesting. Season 1 of Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish got 88% Rotten Tomatoes. Uh-huh. Okay. So as of this time, there's not a newly commissioned second season yet. Because the quote-unquote season 2 was basically the second half of season 1, which, yeah, that was all season 1. Alright. So, sadly, we don't have a season 2 for Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish. But, you know what? Given how good Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish was, and how it breathed new life into the series, I would like to see more. And you know what? Now that it's revealed that Timmy married Tootie, I wouldn't mind seeing how that relationship is explored better. It'd be interesting. But you know what? Again, I'm a firm believer in, if Fairly Odd Parent, I'm a firm believer in the creator of a show having final say in what happens to their show. So if Butch Hartman wants to continue the series, which I would hope he does, I'd be in for it. But if not, you know what? Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish had a really great season. It did. Again, it still has one of the best final jokes of a season ever. Where, Poof, who now is a Perry, is like, they're gonna end this on a fart joke? There better be a season 2. I'm right with you, man. But yeah. I mean, Timmy married Tootie. I knew it was gonna happen all along, but I'm glad that there are people who've been arguing over that for years that finally got their answer. That's cool. Yep, that's it. Hope you like this video. Like, subscribe to YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm very helping this video for all of you guys watching the show today. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Saturday. Remember, if you guys want to talk, James, we're here to lend you always back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.